I'm live. I'm live on YouTube. This is something I'd like to do more on this channel. On the other YouTube channel that I've got, I do a lot more live streams there. But I would like to do more live streams on this channel. It's because I enjoy them more. I enjoy the back and forth with comments. And yeah, it's just more enjoyable. But also, you know, I've talked about this a lot recently. I want to do more live game streaming. So I've actually got a lot of work on today, which is why, another reason why I want to do more live streams. Because there's videos like this where I can put up a camera, I can put my phone and I can record it. Then you need to edit it, then you need to upload it and do all that. Sometimes it's just a lot easier to just do a stream and you can cover many different topics. So that's another reason why I want to do more live streams. And it is the reason why I'm doing a live stream today. I've got a few things that I've got a lot of work that I need to do later. I've got a few things I need to do. Very boring things that I need to do for articles for my website, which unfortunately, you know, until YouTube ever brings me in money, that's what I'm going to have to do. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about in this video that I probably could have, you know, spread across a few different videos, but I'm going to tie them all together in one video and hopefully chat to you guys for the next half an hour or longer as well. So I've kind of been touching upon a few similar subjects recently as far as the fact that I do want to do live game streamings. So I want to touch upon that. But one of the first things I do want to talk about, video output low. Why is YouTube saying that my video output is low? That makes no sense when OBS is saying that everything is fine. YouTube is very funny sometimes when you're doing live streams where OBS is showing it's green, it's showing everything is fantastic, everything is fine. And then on the YouTube side of things, it's not good at all. I'm not sure why it's saying that, but then when I'm looking at the live stream, it's fine. Okay, sorry, I digress. One of the things I wanted to talk about today was in regarding Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is up there with one of my favourite series of games. It really is up there with my favourite series of games. You know, I love the Mario games. I grew up with Atari and then Nintendo, so I do love the Mario games. I love other series as well, like, you know, fighting games, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat and all that. But The Legend of Zelda is something, even now, as a grown man, as a grown adult, whenever I play Zelda, I feel like a kid again, and that's, you know, the beauty of the games. The reason I'm bringing this up and the reason I'm bringing up The Legend of Zelda is that the classic Game Boy game, Link's Awakening. So this was a Game Boy game, right? And you can see it there, Game Boy game. Now, I actually completed this not on the Game Boy. So basically, I think my little brother had this for the Game Boy because I had played it in the kind of monochrome green version. But it was on this version that I completed it, Link's Awakening DX. So this is the one I've completed Zelda in. I think I've completed it twice, just, you know, going back years ago, right enough. But I completed this years ago and I played it on my Game Boy Color. And yeah, I completed it years ago. Really, really good game. And the news today, the big news today, is that Nintendo have teased the fact that they're going to re-release this and they're going to release it on the Nintendo Switch. So you can see some of the headlines there. Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening gets a second life on Switch. This is unbelievable because this is going to be like a huge, get this advertisement out of the way. You know, graphically, this is a major improvement. You're going from a Game Boy game from the early 90s. You know, 30 years later, this is going to look so much better. And it does change your experience, you know, just going from a little tiny console, a tiny little portable, going to, a modern console. This looks really, really good, and I'm really excited about it. It's actually something that might convince me to buy the Switch, because I've not bought the Switch yet. I've still got a PS4, and I've got the Wii U. And as much as people crapped on the Wii U, I loved it. I still love it. I think it's a great console. The last game that came out for the Wii U was this, The Legend of Zelda, and I've still not completed this. And the reason being, my friend bought this for me for my birthday, and we decided to play it together. And we got like a little bit through, and then we just kind of trailed off, and we've not completed it yet. So this is on my list of games to complete. So this is one of the games that I want to play in a live stream. I've played the Wii games a little bit over the last few years as well. So there's a lot of classic Wii Zelda games that I'd love to play And all, you know, through the mini SNES, you can play like the Link to the Past. I was going to say Link's Awakening. That's in my head. You can play a Link to the Past as well. So that's the Game Boy Advance version. But of course, it was originally out on the SNES, and I can play that for you guys via the mini SNES. So I'd love to go through Zelda games. I think that's the type of game that I'd like to go through, rather than, you know, I do enjoy Call of Duty games, but I'd love to go through and just play some of the Zelda games online, and we just go through and play a whole game over how many sessions? I don't know. 1, 2, 10. I don't know. But that's the idea. So, on that subject, I've kind of talked about the process of streaming, the process of recording, and I've talked about this over the last week or so, talking about an HDMI splitter and talking about the HDCP protection. So basically, the copyright protection that you get on consoles, it's a little bit of a pain, and it can really hold you back from recording from older consoles. You get it on the PS4, but you can switch it off. Now, there's still some things that aren't shown if you're recording. So when I get my, if I bring this over, when I bring out my Elgato, which sits over there, when I bring this out and I record from the PS4, I have to make sure that HDCP is turned off. If it isn't turned off, I can't record from the PS4. Now, the PlayStation 3, which is sitting here, this thing is a beast. I didn't think it was a beast at the time, but I do now. The PlayStation 3 has HDCP, but there is no option to turn this off. So there's no way to turn off the copyright protection from the PlayStation 3, which means recording it is a pain. Now, I did a video or two about this the last week or so, and I talked about this. You can buy these HDMI splitters that work, and they basically, you know, you put it into the HDMI splitter, and then the signal that comes out of the HDMI splitter doesn't have that copyright protection. The problem is, well, it's not exactly legal. It's a little bit of a grey area, and it's why a lot of these sellers stop selling their HDMI splitters with HDCP protection, because people abuse it. Now, I would say that I'm not trying to use it in a legal way. I'm just trying to show people me playing an old Wii game from like 20 years ago or whatever it is. But there are people that use these kind of splitters to record from Sky or Virgin Media or whatever it is, whatever cable television. And that's why it's not legal to sell it with HDCP protection. But there are ways around it, and I have bought one of the workarounds. So I looked into this HDMI splitter thing quite a bit. I looked at all the different options for it. I looked at, you know, there's different ones that you can buy, and there's different, you know, options out there, but they didn't look that good. You know, a lot of people said that they work, a lot of people said that it didn't work. I really didn't want to go down the route of keep trying to you know, trying to get it to work, and then it wouldn't work, and then trying different options. Now, it would be very helpful if I could get something that could capture anything over HDMI, that did have that HDC protection and allow me to record regardless. For example, when I did a review of the Fire Stick 4K, I had to set a camera here rather than record the screen, because I couldn't record the screen. I couldn't do it because my Elgato was coming up with a copyright error. So because of that, I couldn't even record the Fire Stick 4K. Now, when you think about it from Amazon's point of view, the reason they've got that HDCP protection is because, well, someone could use it to record shows from Amazon. Now, in my instance, I was actually trying to review the Fire Stick 4K. I wasn't doing anything illegal. I think it's fair use. I was just trying to use it. But that HDCP protection is there. So instead of going the HDMI splitter route and using my existing Elgato, which I must admit I'm really happy with, I've always really liked this, I went down a different route. So what I've done is went out and I've bought another recorder. Now this, I don't know if is this the correct page. This is the Hopage website, and these guys don't have as good a reputation as Elgato. They just don't. You'll see a lot of people complain about it. The reviews, instead of getting 4 stars and 5 stars, they're getting 2 stars and 3 stars. They're just not as well regarded. But they do have a couple of interesting products out there, and it does help you address some of the issues that I've been talking about as far as copyright protection. I've bought this one. Now, it's going to be another week or so until it arrives, because I've bought it second hand from CEX. And the interesting thing about this one is, if I can find a picture here, connector diagrams, this should be okay. Okay, so this is the HD PVR2 Gaming Edition Plus. So what this is is their latest game capture card, the latest game capture hardware before they went to HDMI only. So this one, you've got your HDMI out and in, so I can still record via HDMI, but it's also got this AV out part here. Now, I've saw some people complain about this. Apparently with OBS, the setup is a real pain, so I'm hoping that I can get this set up. But you can see it's got an optical connection there as well. You've got the USB connection, and I don't know if that's for power, because that's a power connector there. Oh, like that's actually to connect to your computer. Yeah, that's what it is. Of course it is. It's got an IR connector there as well. I'm not sure why. But it's this AV connection. This is why I bought this. Despite the fact I have an Elgato HD60S, which is still perfect for my needs. What it's not perfect for is recording from these older consoles with the copyright protection. And this is why I've bought this. Now, hoping that this works. And I've bought this second hand. This is another thing. I've bought this second hand. So I need to make sure, I need to hope that all the connections are okay and all the included cables are provided, because this game capture card comes with a cable here. And this AV out connection port here, this comes with basically it's like a component cable, and I'd have to search for it separately. But essentially the component cable comes out and the AV out cable comes out, and it's kind of like one cable comes out and it splits into the 5 component cables, and then you can plug in your component cables. And what that means is I can connect my PlayStation 3 using component cables, and it should work. And do I have my Nintendo component cables around here? I don't know if I do. I do have them somewhere. I've got my Nintendo Wii U component cables as well. So what that means is I'll have the Hoppage game capture card. I'll have an AV out cable with like inputs, so a place where I can connect those component cables. So I can connect with the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo Wii U, which also does Nintendo Wii. I think I can connect to Nintendo Wii as well, which also does GameCube. And I can connect all of those to the component cables and then connect it and record it. Now, if I jump back to here and we look at the specs here, you can see that this one can do 1080p, but it only does it at 30 frames per second. But that isn't a concern for me. Now, you'll see a lot of people complain about this and say, oh, it's poor, it only records at 30 frames per second. But that isn't a problem for me, because I'll only be recording at 720p at 60 frames per second, because it was like 95%, 99% of games on the PlayStation 3 could only operate at 720p. They couldn't run at 1080p, not, you know, the vast majority of games. So when I'm connecting the Wii U or connecting the Wii or connecting anything like that, I would only be running at 540p or something like that, or 720p at 60 frames per second. So even if I do stream at 1080p at 60 frames per second, recording at 720p at 60 frames per second, upscaling it to 1080p, the quality should still be good. It should still be good. So that's my hope. So I'll, you know, when it arrives, I'll do like a live unboxing or something like that, and I'll show you guys what it's like. I'm hoping that, you know, doing a live unboxing, I'm hoping everything is good, because what I need to do is hope that the connector diagram here, if I get this, I'm hoping that this port is okay, but more importantly is that I'm hoping that the component cables are still there. And that's a big part of it, because if I really should have prepared for this. If I jump over to eBay and I search for this particular console, what I've seen is, you know, there's a lot of people who are selling this, but when you see that it's being sold really cheap, you'll see a lot of people saying that they don't have any cables. Like, I mean, even look at this one. Condition as used only comes with a power cable. So this one doesn't have a USB, HDMI, right? That's fine, you can find that. But it's the component cable that you really need. That's what sets this game capture card apart from the alternatives in the market. It's that component cable, because you don't get that with the Elgato. I think, you know, this one might have all of it. But if I type this in, component, there's probably an image somewhere on, where is it? Right. So this is like an official image. Now, this does better explain what I'm talking about. This is not the exact version I've bought. The one I've got is the plus version of this. So by and large, it is the same. And you can see here, there's an HDMI cable here. You've got the power connector. You've got the USB for connecting to your computer. And then you can see this here. This is like the AV, I think it is. That doesn't look correct right enough. But basically, you've got these connecting cables that go into this port at the back. And it allows you to connect component cables. Now, those ones actually look like RCA cables more than anything else. I'm not sure about that. It could be the composite ones. But as I said, you know, the connector cable is like, it's like an input thing. So I'm hoping that it comes with a cable. If it doesn't come with a cable, I have to return it. Now, if I look on CEX, I think, have I spelled that right? I have. Now CEX, yes, for all the, you know, the things that are wrong with it, etc., they do actually, they do sell some really good older equipment. And sometimes, this is the thing, you know, a lot of the time equipment gets slated at the time, but in hindsight, it could turn out to be a good buy. Now, here's an example, right? I mean, look at this one, right? This is one of their older products. And if you go to the homepage website, go to products, it is, which one is it? I think it's this one, the HD PVR, right? So this is this one, and you can see, you can put, that's £18, mint condition, A condition, or you can get B for £15, £1.50 delivery, so relatively cheap. Now, this isn't a modern one, right? And this isn't the best game capture device in the market. It's a bit of a brick when you look at it. It's quite a big device. And if you look at recording-wise, I can't remember what this does recording-wise. I think it's... I don't know if this only goes up to 720p. Oh, there it's here. 1080i or 720p, but I think it's 720p at 30 frames per second. So it's not as good as the one I've bought, but it is pretty cool. But what I really like about this is the connections. I mean, if there's a gallery here, okay. I mean, look at this. You've got S-Video in the front. You've got video, your AVI video left, right. But on the back here, look at this. You've got all your components. That's all your components there. Your video and your audio right there. You've got optical in and out. You've got an IR blaster, and then you've got your USB connection, and then you've got your power. But look at the number of connections on that. Now, for me, this kind of raises, maybe this is a little bit of a bizarre topic, but this raises a thing where sometimes when technology advances, things get left behind. Because when you think about it, see, this is the Elgato, right? And it's HDMI in, HDMI out. Yes, this is good for a modern console, but this would be incredible if it had all these additional ports. It would allow me to capture, you know, from different recording devices, DVDs, and all these different things as well, if it came to it. Not that I'm trying to do that, but S-Video, AV component, this can handle everything. And again, this will only do 720p, probably at 30 frames per second, but I'm very tempted to buy this simply because it's like under £20 for it to be delivered. It's an interesting thing. You know, people sometimes disregard older things, you know, older technology as obsolete. But as technology has advanced with HDMI in and out, if you want to record these older consoles, the PlayStation 3, the Nintendo Wii, Wii U, Sony PlayStation 1 and 2, they're going to have to be recorded via older connection cables, which is where something like that comes in, where you've got these additional ports. And again, you know, maybe their software is pretty bad. I don't know. That's a separate issue altogether. But it's kind of interesting, I think, that along the way, these devices are coming out that are HDMI in and out, but they've got no way to tackle copyright protection, which is maybe, you know, maybe they've got pressure from the industry. I don't know. But from my point of view, from a recording point of view, as someone who just wants to innocently stream some games online, share my love of games with you guys, it's good that there's still some older devices out there. So, will this one, I've got the plus version of this coming soon. Will this be the solution for me? I don't know. I've taken a little bit of a risk because as secondhand, it's B condition that I've bought it in. There's a chance that one of the ports might not work right, and there is a high chance as well there could be some missing cables or something. I don't care about the box. I don't care about the DVD or the HDMI cable or even the USB cable. What I care about is that component cable. But if that's missing, I should be able to buy it somewhere else. So even if it does come with a missing the AV out cable, I should be able to find an accessory for it online. And all this is about, it means that I can record from the PlayStation 3. I'll use component here instead of HDMI. I can record at 720 at 60 frames per second, and I can record with my Wii U as well, which, you know, I can play Wii games as well. So hopefully, and I know I'm saying hopefully a lot, but hopefully that's quite good. So before I tie it up, there's a few other things I want to talk about very briefly. I'm going to do a video soon. I hope maybe tomorrow if I get time. I've got a lot of work on, but if I get time, I'll hopefully do this. Now, I reviewed the Fire Stick 4K last week. Now, I had assumed that I'd either gave away my Fire Stick or I'd sold it, but turns out, well, I had kind of gave it away. Gave it to my parents, but they don't need it anymore because they've got a modern television. This is the original Fire Stick, the first generation one. So I'm going to do a comparison and show you the difference in performance between the original Fire Stick, this one, and the 4K. I actually found as well, this is another thing I bought. I might as well show it sitting here. I don't know where that is. I'm still looking for those Nintendo Wii component cables I've got sitting about here somewhere. This is the Roku. Now, this one is quite interesting because it's using a composite cable. So it's not HDMI. It does actually have HDMI on it though. So I should be able to show you this. I should be able to record from this, but it might have that HDCP protection again. But even, you know, this kind of illustrates my point with those game capture devices, because I've got nothing that allows me to record. You know, I couldn't capture footage from this. I just don't have anything that can do that. That's where that, you know, £20 recording device could come in handy, because I could record from something like this. But this is quite interesting. If you've got an older television, this could get you onto Netflix and Amazon, stuff like that. But I'm talking proper old 540p television. Anything more than that, you're better getting a Fire Stick. So yeah, I'm hoping to do more live streams, guys, and I'm hoping to do more game streams. Once I've got everything set up, that, you know, I'm a big fan of automation. I'm a big fan of, you know, switching it on and it works, and then switching off and then it, you know, it uploads. One thing, there's, you know, I'm trying to get the game streaming set up better. That's one thing I need to do. I want to be able to record from the consoles I've got sitting around here. I'm pretty happy with the audio. There is a compressor that I can buy so that I can't peak my audios. It's something it's not a priority right now, but it's something I might get in the future. But I think the main thing that I want to do after I get the game capture device and hopefully get it working, the main thing I want to do is get a better camera. Now, right now, I'm using the Logitech Brio 4K. I've actually got two of these webcams. I've got two of them, and I use two of them for interviews sometimes. But I would like to get a proper camcorder, essentially. And again, this is going to streamline a lot of my recording in that I just click start and it records, and it's going to save me a lot of editing and all that. And hopefully it will be a better quality of video as well. It's a little bit different though. You know, I think when it comes to live streams, I think that quality is important, but I think that automation is important as well. Being able to do it quickly, not spending hours setting things up. I really just want to walk into my office, click record, upload a thumbnail, and kind of set it up for 10 minutes and then get going. I don't want to spend a long time messing about with, you know, cameras and things like that. I really just want to have it automated. I'm a big fan of that, and I know that sometimes quality is sacrificed when you do that. When you set up your camera better, sometimes the quality is better. But when it comes to game streaming and things like that, I think that, you know, a 4K webcam like I've got just now is fine, okay, but I can do better, and that's something I will tackle a little bit in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. I think I've covered most of the things that I wanted to cover. I think that Hoppage game capture card is going to come in a week or so. I'm hoping that it addresses the issue I have with the HDCP protection. But before then, I could use the good old Elgato, and I could stream a game from the RetroPie. I could do some retro gaming one day, or I could get the mini SNES. I'm still looking to buy the mini NES as well, which is a little bit of a luxury really, because you know, a lot of the games on that aren't as good as the SNES version, but I still haven't bought it, so I really should buy it, should play it, stream it for you guys. But thanks for watching anyway, guys. If you're watching this later, I apologise you never saw it live, but hit the bell icon. That notifies you guys via the YouTube app if I'm on live, and if you want to know when I'm on live, click the bell icon, it'll give you a little message. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate everyone that's tuned in, and I'll speak to you all very soon, and I will, I'll do reviews of everything when they arrive. So when that game capture card arrives, I'll sort that, and when, I'll do a performance comparison between the two Fire Sticks as well. I think that'd be interesting as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Okay, guys, unfortunately, it's time for me to work. Speak to you all soon, guys. Cheers.